All right, folks, here we are on Trading Up. We've got Shawn back on the show. Now, if you didn't catch him last time, we did this demo guru. Shawn automates his break and retest strategy. So, Nick, welcome back to the Trading Up podcast / YouTube channel. How are things with you?
Things are amazing, man. Happy to be back. I was really impressed with you putting this together. This has been nuts, dude. Can't wait to chat about it.
Look, I know. So this is the follow-up, okay? So, guys, if you missed the first one, head back there. We'll put a link to the video underneath this video, so you can see what we did. With basically, Nick came up with a strategy, and I've gone and automated it, and you're going to see those results today. Find out how it got on and back tests in a number of markets that Nick chose in timeframes and stuff. And there's a little sort of sneak peek in here of some changes that I made to the strategy as well, just because robots can only do certain amount of things. Right, so Nick, let's jump into the strategy that we came up with. We'll go through it fairly quickly because, guys, if you do want to see how we came up with it and the detail around it, please do go and check out that other video. So first off, we're looking for an exponential moving average crossover. Next thing is we're going to wait for X number of candles to be fully below the slower exponential moving average, okay? So we're going to wait for that candle to then come back and touch that slower EMA, and then we're going to enter our trade with one-to-one risk to reward, and we're going to place our stops at the recent high or low with a 10 to 15 pip buffer. Okay, so that was quite tricky, that one there. So I've made some tweaks to the strategy, and we're going to quickly jump into a price chart after this and have a look at how these tweaks work. So the tweaks are, for the stop loss, I've found the highest fractal of the last three. Now let me exit out of this and jump into a test here. So Nick, so this is what I've done. So these are trades that the robot is taking here on a chart. And so you can see here, looking at the strategy, we've got the crossover happened here, which is great. We're now counting the fact, that we've got X number of candles, and we're only looking for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles haven't touched that slow moving average, which is there, right? So we're now active for a trade. And as soon as we get that touch, the candle after, we're entering. So we've got a touch here, and we're now looking to place our stop. Now the difficulty with this, and I've got to say it was quite difficult, was to try and find out where do I place the stop. Because it's like, I think we decided, look, let's look for the last fractal and place a stop. Now what was difficult was the last fractal, look, I mean this one here is only 10 pips away, right? And give us a buffer of another 10 pips. It's not really your strategy, right? Because I think you were looking at the last recent high, and there wasn't any recent high other than this one way up here. Okay, so if you were going to take this trade, where would you have placed your stop manually?
Well, it depends. It's hard to say I would have taken this exact same trade, but normally what I'll do is if price breaks, the level comes back and retests, I'll place my stop for one above the level that price is retesting at. And then also it will be above that most recent high that's like clear on like the H4 chart, for example. So for this type of trade, it's hard for me to say. However, I think just the stop loss like above maybe like the previous highs that markets made over here to the left in the structure, because since this is a trend trading system, somewhere up there, since it's a trend trading system, if the trend shall continue, it's going to be very unlikely that price would go and break that previous area.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I did. So as I mentioned, it's the highest fractal of the last three, and I've given us a minimum take a stop loss level as well. Okay, so I didn't want a really tight stop loss, like 10 pips or something. So I think in this case, let me just quickly pop it up here. We've got a minimum stop loss of 50 pips. Okay, so it's got to be at least 50 pips away. So we're looking for the fractal that's at least 50 pips away, and that's 1, 2, 3. In fact, I think we've looked for more than 3, or maybe this one wouldn't have formed actually by the time this had entered. So 1, 2, 3, it's gone. Okay, this one here is at least 50 pips away, so we can have a look at that. It's 145 pips away, and then we've got a buffer of 5 pips on that one, and so you can see the stop just up there. So that's what we're looking for here in terms of the stop. Let's quickly jump back into that presentation. So the next thing is check the stop was at least, okay, we talked about that, at least X pips away from the entry. So I added I added a close above or below the moving average exit. Now, I'll show you what this is. And look, this isn't part of your strategy, right? And it's a bit of discretion that I think the robot had to do, because it's blind, right? It's completely blind. So I thought, it's sometimes, because we said 1-to-1, right? And 1-to-1 is great when it works, but it can so often get so close, and then you're like, I probably would have exited there because it hit structure or whatever it was. So what I've said is, and it's an option here, if we have a look at this one here, moving average cross close. Okay, so set to true. It means that if we close above the slow moving average, and I think this one actually just went to 1-to-1 take profit. If we close above the slow moving average, we've got another one in here. This one may, I don't know if that one did. No, that one didn't either. I'm just trying to find one that did. God, these have all been just 1-to-1, man. This is crazy. Anyway, if price came back, so we're in this buy trade, it came back and closed below here, for example, below the slow, then we would exit the trade. Okay, so if we hadn't reached our 1-to-1, we would have exited the trade there. You can toggle that on and off. Okay, so I toggled it on and off to see if it worked, and it tended to work more often than not. And I'll see if I can find one. You probably want a losing trade here somewhere.
So many of these have hit the targets.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
God,
It's ridiculous. I'm trying to find one here that just, that's hit the target as well. That one there may not have hit the target, so the stop loss is quite high, 145. Let's just zoom out a bit here. Okay, yeah, I don't think that one did. So that one didn't. So that's a prime example, right? So we had a stop of 145, and I think actually, sorry, let me just jump in here. I made the take profit percentage 150%. Because that one tended to work out more often than not versus the 1-to-1. So it's 1-to-1.5. Seems to work better for this particular pair. So yeah, it's not going to make the 1-to-1.5. So what we've done here is, so you see here, prices come back and crossed above the moving average. But you're probably thinking, well, hang on a sec. It was above the moving average here, here, and here. So what I also did was say, and where is it here? Yeah, minimum take profit pips is 70. So we had to be at least 70 pips into profit before we would exit the at a crossover. Okay, so we had to be at least 70 pips in profit. Now, let's just jump back in here again. So added a minimum, take profit pips we've talked about. I added a start and end time as well. So I didn't want to enter the trade at the very start of the day. So like, for example, whilst we're having rollover. So I said, look, we're going to close. We're not going to enter trades just before rollover, and we're not going to enter them on the rollover because spreads get massive, and you can easily, if your stop's too tight, get wicked out and whatnot. So I said, look, we're not going to enter those. So I got rid of those, and that's built in. In fact, I haven't made that a variable here, but it's it can be easily added if we need to in the future. Now, added a minimum stop loss size in pips. Did I write that twice? Okay, so this is, there's a check that it's at least, so this is the same thing basically. Minimum stop and the check that it's at least X pips from entry. I also added an option here, and this was really just to test things out, to see whether or not we enter on a bull or a bear candle. And what does this mean? Okay, it's quite difficult to try and explain here, but if we have a look at this trade here, so this isn't a good example. It's all doji. So we're looking at the candle just before the candle we enter. So this one here might help us. Okay, so the candle before, and it's even a doji as well. The candle before, basically the candle that penetrates the slow moving average, I've added the option, and this one's turned to false. Okay, so this means, I've called it opposite candle touch. So this one's turned to false, which means it can be any candle that touches it. Okay, if I turn it to true, it means for buys, it needs to be a bearish candle to touch the moving average. Does that make sense? So we're and the reason I say that is because if it's a bearish candle, there's a higher chance that it's going to be closer to the moving average when we enter the trade, which gives us a better entry. But if it's, for example, a bullish candle, say it was this one here, and penetrated the moving average, your entry's already 37 pips away from the moving average. So I gave us that option. Okay, so it's a toggle, you can turn it on and off. What I think I found over the course of running these back tests was they were more often than not, you get a better result by having more trades without worrying about if it's a bull or a bear. It didn't really matter, especially when you started increasing the size of the stop. 30 pips when you've got a stop of 100 pips or 75 pips or something like that didn't really make a difference. So, yeah, look, what do you think about these changes first, Nick? Would you have changed anything else?
So for one, man, I mean, obviously, like with something that's completely automated based on like a computer program reading like the technical chart with nothing else, like this is very, very, very like sort of like more specific to the context of this particular trading system. And it works. And I think that's the most important part, is that it works in what you've done, because you've taken it, you've back tested a couple of things, you've tweaked it based on what seems to have worked, and you've left out what hasn't seemed to work. And you built it all just based on like my simple trend trading system. And so this is phenomenal, dude. I haven't seen many EAs do this good to where like most of these trades are actually winning. And also with the profit target above 1-to-1, like it's nuts that a lot of these are hitting with like a 1 to 1.5 target, and then they're being managed appropriately after the trade. So yeah, the tweaks look great to me, man, especially given all the context of the actual system.
Well, I mean, let's have a look at some of these backtest results. So this one here. This was literally this one here, and in fact, I'd base it on another one which was pretty good as well, and I made a mistake, and I slightly adjusted one of the things, and I was like, damn, this is even better. And I mean, the thing to actually, let's just jump into here, because I think it's better to look at some of these stats here. So this is a test when I've exported it and created a report. Some of these things are, and like I don't know if I can zoom in here, but some of these things are pretty spectacular. And this is probably the best one, but it's like 1.78 profit factor is pretty good for a robot, right? It's pretty good to try and get it above 2 with 234 trades. And this is a 5-year test on every tick. So we've used every tick to test it. So the quality of the data is very, very good. So you can pretty much be 100%, well, not 100% certain, but very certain that this is what you're going to get in a real market environment. So yeah, like 234 trades here across 5 years on one pair, profit factor 1.78, which is very high profit factor, and which I also like to look at the win rate. So the overall win rate 67%. Shorts won slightly more than longs, but yeah, like 67% is. I mean, that's damn near 70%.
A higher win rate than my manual trading system, dude. Like,
there you go. So those, yeah. The other thing is that I like to look at is relative drawdown. So 9.88% is very low, very, very low. Like usually when I do a sort of bog standard test, I'll get something around the region of 20, which is looking pretty good. 30, sometimes 50%. So 9.8, under 10% is extremely good. So look, I don't know, and I tell you what, I've never seen this before. Straight out of the gate without doing anything, I said, didn't I? I DM'd you and I said, look, this is just, I can't believe that this has come out looking so
you
good.
were freaking out that day when you messaged me, because you were just like, I thought I made a mistake or something, but it's like come out so ridiculously well. Like, this is just crazy, man, because I haven't seen anything personally like this. It's just crazy to me that you've made this based off of my trading system and you've automated it, and it's like better than my manual system as far as win rate.
It's mad. It's mad. So what I did was, I mean, look, I didn't do a lot of testing. I spent probably, I don't know, a few hours just testing it, seeing how it worked on a few currency pairs. And what I'll do is quickly walk through some of those now and show you guys, the various sort of ways that it approached different markets. And look, every market's different, so the settings are slightly different on everyone. And I didn't. Let me just quickly say, I only tested it on 8 candles away. So I don't even know what this thing could do if you tested on maybe 15 candles away from the moving average, or even made it tighter and made it like 7 or 6 or something like that. I only tested on 8. I only tested on the 1 hour time frame because that's what we agreed. So what does this look like on a 4 hour time frame, or on a 30-minute time frame perhaps? Who knows? So, or a daily, it could be even better. So yeah, look. So let's have a look at some of these tests. And so this was on GJ again. So this was slightly different settings. These here were what was different between that. So the moving averages were different. The fractal exit was different. So we used a fractal 3 instead of a fractal 2. What does that mean? It means that, so these are fractal 2s, which means you're waiting for 2 candles either side. A fractal 3 means 3 candles either side. We could do it so it's a fractal, 10, but I need to do a little bit more work. So that was GJ, and this did well as well. Look, 1.75 profit factor, not quite as high win rate, but still 55%. And look, you could run these side by side, right? So they don't necessarily need to be. You don't have to run one and you can't run the other. You can run both of them at the same time. So this one took a lot fewer trades. It was only 97, but whilst you're doing that, you've got the other one running and you got double the trades. This one was another GJ test, even fewer trades, but this one did really well in terms of profit factor. So this was 2.19, 64% win rate, another good high win rate. Only 50 trades though, but still pretty good, and a very low drawdown at 5.37.
Wow, that's nice.
I know. Sorry, my little thing here is not letting me click on this one. Which one was this one? This was different again on GJ. So another one. So this one here had a very high win rate. I think this was the one I sent you originally. Almost 80%. Almost 80% win rate. And I know, ridiculous. 299 trades. 1.49 profit factor. So even though they had that, I think the profit it was taking was less because it was doing the moving average crossover close. So once it crossed the moving average, so some of these trades were like, whereas the other ones are letting them run, this one here was, taking the exits, quicker than normal. But it had a better sort of equity curve from, looking at it more of a consistency. So depending on the type of trader you are, this kind of system might be more for you because it's trades a bit more frequently, and you're going to have a higher win rate, right? So you're going to have a 70 or 80% win rate, which means you don't need to suffer those losses all the time. So that was this one here. It's still on GJ. So GJ did really well. This is GU. So GU here, so this had 300, so more trades, and a lot of, the win rate here was even higher. It was 82% win rate.
Freaking insane, man. Dude, even my win rate with my manual system is like maybe 50 to 60% of the trades I'll win. And like to see anything like above 60 to 70%, even like 80, 82, dude, some traders would kill to have a win rate like that.
Yeah. And the drawdown was still good at less than 10%, or fantastic. Profit factor 1.33, yeah, okay, not as high, which means you're probably having, what it's doing is it's exiting once again at these crosses, and it's probably taking smaller profits. So here we go. Minimum take profit is 10 pips. Okay, so what it's doing is when we cross that moving average in 10 pips profit, and we've gone in the direction. So let's have a look at the chart here. So for example here, say it closed where's a good example? So maybe, I don't think we're going to get one. But let's say, okay, say we took a short here and it closed above the moving average here, and that's 21 pips. We would have closed that trade. But our stop loss still may have been, 60 pips away. So in theory, you're not getting 1R, but still, it's like taking a break even on the trade. And if it went against you, it obviously works. And look, you can see here that it works over time. And all those little sort of, that's where it's going up in a little slope there. That's where you're taking that, that's where you're getting your 80% win rate, right? Your 82% win rate. And then you're taking the bigger loss here. But then you're getting these ones that run as well, that don't cross the moving average, and they give you that big boost in profit. Like here's the boost in profit, here's the boost in profit, and then a few in a row like here. So yeah, anyway, that's how that one works. That's GU. Another one on UCAD. I didn't even look at this in detail, but this had 92%. 92% win rate.
Insane. And also the expected payoff, the profit factor is 1.6, man.
Why did I not look at these before?
Dude, with the
I,
drawdown of 6%, this is like I've never seen an EA like this before, dude. Honestly.
yeah. So this one, so I mean, this was risking 2.5% again. So I think, oh, sorry, 2%. All of them were risking 2% on the account. Um, so yeah, I mean, like overall, I mean, that's solid. So if you don't really like losing, then I'm going to chuck these on an account and see how they go. So so I haven't done that yet. Look, consecutive wins 12. This is stupid. Okay, all right. That's UCAD. Okay, so I only tested like 5 pairs. I think I didn't even go through a whole. I didn't even go through the whole raft of pairs. I did what you said, and tested 5 pairs, and that's only 60 minute time frame. This one here, okay, yeah, we had a bit of drawdown here at the start. So you can see that that's 13%. Profit factor wasn't so great. So this was UJ, but still a high win rate overall. So it was 83% win rate, and it did grow the account over time. It really didn't kick in until about here. Okay, so that was 87. So let's have a quick look what year that was. That was in 2016. Okay, so didn't work so well in 2015, 2016, but after that it seemed to have worked well. A couple of dips. I'm sure that could be refined. I mean, it did have 342 trades, which was quite a lot compared to the others. So let's have a look. That was UJ. This is GJ again. I think this may have been. This was the first test that I did when I made the mistake, and I put it. So this was 15 pip stop loss buffer. Then the one I showed you was 5 pip stop loss buffer. So you basically reduced your stop loss by 5 pips, and it made a big difference. I mean, I think you had overall these things were actually no, sorry, the curve just looked a bit better, but I think overall these things are still pretty high, 68. 1.71. So yeah, it's still a damn good system. The relative drawdown for less than 8% relative drawdown. This one, that was that first test that I showed you here. So yeah, Nick, I think your bot's a success, mate. Your bot's idea, well, your strategy overall is a success. It works, which we validated here in history. So I'm happy for you, and I'm happy to be able to, straight out of the gate. I think you were the first one to launch here on Build That Bot. This thing has just turned into a beast. Now, if you guys are thinking, how can I get hold of this? Look, I think that the best way to do this, and look, I'm going to give this away to my Robot Builders Club members, and I'm going to show them how it works. So if you're already a Robot Builders Club member, well done, guys. You're going to get access to this. If you're not,
you're actually gonna give this to them? That's
I'm
crazy,
going to give it to
man.
them. Yeah, look, I mean, I'm building them bots and stuff all the time, and look, I'm going to give it to them. You guys are going to get it. Now, let's. If you're not a member, there's something in it for you as well. So let's get to the end here of this presentation. And if you do want the bot and you're not a member, then you've got to join the club, right? You've got to join the Robot Builders Club. That's not the Robot Traders Club, which it's probably going to come to an end soon. It's the Robot Builders Club, so you've got to do it in August 2020 if you want this deal. You're going to get the source code. Yeah, I'm going to give you the source code to it. And it means you can walk. You can actually, I can even show you the source code here, I think. You can, and the good thing is you're going to learn how to manipulate the code without doing any coding. And that's what I teach in my course, right? So I teach that in my course. I'm also going to give you a live walkthrough of how it's built. So you're going to know exactly how I built it. And that makes it easier to then, add things to it, take things away, manipulate it how you want it to. You could add it. I mean, what I was thinking, Nick, was even if, for your clients, if they wanted to, they could add it as a... If they're struggling with the patience or the discipline, and they want some sort of alert that, hey, stuff's coming up, then they could add in an alert function instead of having it trade automatically, and it just says, hey, it's the bot's done this. Go and check out your charts. It might even sort of play into what you do with your analysis group or with your own clients and stuff, and helping them out. I don't know, but yeah, look, you can do whatever you want with this. Okay, so you'll get a walkthrough, you get the source code, you get a walkthrough, and if you use this coupon, NickSpot, you're going to get it at $500 discount on the Robot Builders Club. all you need to do is head over to tradingnut.com, Nick's/Nicksbox bot. I will hook that up in the show notes as well. So if the link under the video, so if you're watching the video now, it should be a link under there. Nicksbot is the coupon that you want to put into the cart, and that'll get you a discount of $500. You're not just going to get the bot, but you get everything else that comes with the club. And there's like dozens and dozens of other bots in there that you get the source code for. And I'll help you guys build your own bots as well if you're looking to automate robots and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, look, guys, it's your chance to get access to this. It's looking fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, things keep getting better and better by the looks of it as well.
I know. I didn't even think that it was because I'd done the test maybe a week or so ago, and I was like, man, this at the time couldn't believe it. They kept churning it out. Every single one I put it on, I was like, man, there's some great settings in here. And then I forgot that the win rates were so high in them, and the profit factors were so good, and the drawdown was so low, which I just completely forgot about it. So yeah, well done, mate. It validates the break and retest strategy that you're teaching your own clients, and yeah, guys, check it out. If you want to get access to it, head over there, Robot Builders Club. Nick, I'm sure in the future you're going to have some more ideas. I mean, this was based off your strategy, but I'm sure there's other ideas you got out there. How do you fancy coming on here to do build that bot in the future? Maybe a part 2, a new strategy that you come up with. What does that look like to you?
Dude, 100%. Like after doing this, because honestly, I didn't know how this would turn out. I thought it would be like, okay, he'll build a bot, see what happens. I didn't expect it to get this kind of results. I mean, we just laid out like a whole strategy and stuff, and we started it, and then we did this. In the future, I definitely think we should do something. It's no news that my system works. It's been working for people for years. I've got a bunch of happy students who've been trading this exact same system for the past 2 or 3 years. But dude, I think Robot Builders Club, like what you got going on here, is perfect for a person that doesn't have the time or want to take the time to like learn how to do manual trading and do it all themselves and make it every day. This is like a great option, Cam, for people that want to just learn how to like automate the whole process. And on top of automating it, having something work, and on top of having it work this well, that's borderline ridiculous. So I say 100%, dude. Let's do a little follow-up or something in the future with this. That sounds fun.
Yeah, cool. Look, I mean, I might chuck this on a demo account to start off with, and let's just see how it goes. Pick a few of those settings, and then get you back on here. Do another robot builders. A robot. What do we call this? Build that bot. We'll do another build that bot with you. We'll come up with another strategy. You can come up with it. I'll help try and automate it, and we'll see where we get to. So, hey, look, Nick, thank you very much for coming on. Now, quickly, leave the listeners with the best way to get hold of you so they know how to find you in the future.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, I have a bunch of free stuff here online. So search me up on YouTube, Nick Shawn. My Instagram account, which is probably like my most public place to like get in touch with me or whatever, it's Nick Shawn FX, and I'm sure that Cam will probably put that here in the description of this video. But yeah, Nick Shawn FX on Instagram. That's my only social media platform, nothing else. So that's the best way.
Cool. Brilliant. Well, look, thank you once again, Nick. And folks, if you do want to see more of these videos, well, first of all, check out Nick's video as well if you want to do that, or head over to tradingnut.com, use this coupon and get the $500 discount. And get Nick's bot, and I'll do a live walkthrough for anyone who joins in August 2020. If you've seen this in the future, just hit me up and say, look, I saw the video, I missed out, and look, I don't know, we'll see what we can do. And look, stay tuned for more Build That Bot, more stuff coming here on Trading Nut. Don't forget also the Trading Nut, what is it called? Trading View Replay Challenge is up, more mini courses, and so you don't miss out, hit the subscribe button, hit notifications, hit the all bell, and you'll get notified when these things hit the air. See you next time.